grateful. I'm humble. 2026 is a year of commitments. This is the year business gets done. I'm not here to spread any lies or to tell anything that's not the truth. Friendship and loyalty mean more than all the money in the world. I think being in situations where good people surround you, being in situations where people remain loyal, being in situations where people are equally committed to achieving your goals are situations for winning, situations that are truly built for success. And I just want to mention this because too many of us allow disloyalty in our circles. There's too many of us that will do anything to have certain people in our lives. We will settle for less. We will augment our standard. We certainly lower expectations, and with those lowered expectations, diminishing outcomes. I'm not taking any less in 2026 than I deserve and than I want. I have a pretty decent track record of achieving my goals and exceeding them. I made some major life changes. I made some major retargets in the last 5 years, and I don't regret any of them. I know that 2024 was a year that I was going to get out of this country. I was going to change my life massively. And I had a change of heart, a goal that I have had for myself since I was 25 years old, a goal that I've had for myself for about 20 years. I found value in something else. I found value in staying in this country. I found value in being a citizen, and I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. And with that, I have a responsibility to deliver for myself, to make sure or ensure that the people that remain in my life are people that are committed to me, people with integrity, people that deserve to see the fruits of all the labor that I've put into these last few years, because we are taking things to a whole new level. I take a lot of pride in that because there was sacrifice behind that. There was loss behind that. There was pain involved. And as we all know, if there is no pain, there is no gain. I have gained love. I have gained experience. I have gained a groundedness that I didn't have before. I have gained a community. I have gained a purpose. And putting all of these things together, establishing them as legs or as wheels, are propelling me to my next objective, which, as I've consistently stated through this year, is delivering for that community, is taking that community to new heights, sharing those stories, not only from my perspective, but from varied perspectives. Eventually, creating a tapestry, completing a perspective that is full and rich, that is 360 degrees, that covers all angles of the journey for so many reasons. When we have this mission completed, there's a diagram, there's a map, there is direction for someone to avoid the pitfalls, the pain, the suffering, the loss, the inefficiencies that we endured. Being trailblazers, being pioneers, being leaders, all of these things mean so much to me. And I can be vulnerable in that sense. I can lie in my truth. I can understand that I am doing this for joy and pleasure outside of myself. TheModernBlackMan.com continues We have been open for business for a few years now, and we're starting to hit a stride. We're starting to hit a growth point, and it feels really good. It feels like all of the hard work justifies the success that we're calling for. Again, last year, 2025, was a year where I had to evaluate my circle, and there's no complaints, there's no drama, there's just truth, realizing and understanding that we're all at different points on our individual journeys, but we have to tap in to the collective journey. As a society, we are heading somewhere. We're going to a destination. Whether we call that a movement, whether we call that evolution, whatever it is that we label it as, we're on the same train. So there's no growth, there's no gain, and there's no life. And suffocating the next man, subjugating the next man, or even trying to sabotage the next man, because we're all in this together. All we can do is help each other. All hands on deck must work for the better of the group. Putting together our resources and remaining allied ensures our success. There's no need for me to ever throw anybody under the bus. With that being said, I'm still very comfortable speaking my truth, and I do make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I will speak my truth. And what we're doing in 26 is taking everyone's perspective and properly placing it. I'm not here to undermine anybody. I'm not here to say that somebody else is wrong, but I want all those voices to speak, and I want it to be clear so we can truly see what the next man sees, because we can learn something from each other that helps one another. That's what today's address was all about, and our direction is very clear. Listen to the newest episodes of the podcast. Make sure that you get on the website and look at our most recent blog posts, because they are definitely heady. There's a lot of information there. We're talking about some good stuff. Yeah. Amen. Amen. And as we get older, I think that the truth of the end is what unites us. Understanding that we're all on borrowed time, and nothing is guaranteed, nothing lasts forever, especially us. So we should make this time as joyful, as positive, as productive as possible. Again, I'm not perfect, but I truly understand that, and I'm engaged in that. I'm at a point in my life where I truly see my value, and I see my position, my place. I see what I can do to help others, and I'm convicted to do those things. I take a lot of pride, I receive a lot of joy in being able to save people from pain. That could be with information, that could be with knowledge, and that could be with some support. I don't think that it's as simple as being positive or negative. I think it's as complex as being present. I think that we learn so much more together. I think things are understood fully when we are united. That doesn't mean that I'm afraid to go against. That doesn't mean that I have oppositional views, because I certainly do. But I am tapped in on mutual success. Apply that how you must, apply that how you will. But we're looking for big things in 26. 25 was an unbelievable year for the program, for the platform, for the group, for the family, the circle. We got to travel a lot. I know my co-host Doug and I were able to have a pretty good time. Last year, I got to fly the crew out on a vacation, and those are the things that feel good to me. Being able to promote businesses of people in the circle, that's what feels good to me. To know that there's financial and monetary gain for people that are in our community, That feels good to me, and I want to keep that going. I want to give a big shout out to House of Tinks, Lavishing Lees, um, Initial Remedies. Sorry if I'm butchering the names, but we have a lot of cliques, we have a lot of groups, and we're all growing. I hope that we all grow for the better. I hope that we can stay united and loyal to each other, and we can see how this year ends. I'm expecting a lot of transformational changes in myself individually, and I'm hoping that there's an even larger and more transformative change in the world around us. Hope, optimism, these are the things that keep me motivated. These are the things that keep me going, because as you continue, as you grow, I'm in my sixth decade of living, and man, it's changed. Things have changed. There was the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, the 20s. We're going to that sixth decade, and it's just incredible to me that God has blessed me with this longevity, that He's blessed me with this perspective and ability to stay engaged on the ground for this long. With that being said, I look forward to being able to help the next generation find their voice, the next generation to find their power, to understand how their place in the world can be honored and complimented by us, my generation, because things are changing for us as well. And I hope that we can work together and not apart, not against. I want to be aligned. I want to be tuned in. I love the differences that they make. I'm going to be critical later. I'll make plenty of jokes about that. But this younger generation is different. They see the world differently and they want different things. And they may be dismounting the world as it is. They may be not destroying it, but dissembling the machine that has been created to date. And our world is different. Our language is different. Our interactions are different. And I think that our expectations are different. And that's what we're going to talk about throughout this year, is how we are adjusting our target. We no longer expect children to be quiet, respectful, orderly. We no longer expect families and consistency. We no longer demand the same physicality from our bodies as we age. But that doesn't mean that we're done. That just means that we're current. That means that we're still in the game and we're learning how we can win at this advanced age. And the real win is going to come when we are synergistic, when we actually have complementary energy and our actions can be taken on the ground to help that younger generation thrive. Because when they win and benefit us, I think that that's going to be that magic point in balance where we really understand each other, when we really connect, when we really realize that we are in this together. Visit themodernblackman.com and please listen to the latest podcast episode. There have been so many positive developments. There have been so many successes in the circle. I want to keep those going in 26. We're just beginning. I don't know where this is going to end us, but if it turns into fun at spring break, it turns into fun over the summer, it turns into benefit in the community, it turns into wins, and it turns into profit, and it turns into growth, and it turns into all the success that we had towards the end of 25, I'll sign up for it 10 times out of 10. It was amazing last year. I was able to travel extensively. I was able to go to so many different places and experience so many different things. I want to do that again, but more. I want more. Help me out. Until the next episode.